Okay, so now we have our 3 pieces all connected. We have our back piece, of course our front piece and our back piece. So everything is connected together. So now what we need now, so if you can see here, one long piece of skirt, right? So the next thing we want to do now is to get our needle and our thread. And then now we are going to gather our skirt at the waistband part. So this is the end of the bottom for us the hem, and this is like the waist part. So we're gonna gather it up just like this all the way to the end. So just thread your needle, put thread on your needle, and then we're gonna gather the waistband up. So we're doing hand gathering, and then you would gather it up to the length of your actual waistband, the one that we cut out. So just like this, right? So you see, it started to make our gathered already, right? I'm gonna continue. Very simple, very basic. This is skirt that, you know, I know sells for big time money. Very simple, very basic. You could definitely try it out. Let me see how it come out. Also give me comment. I want to know what else you want to see, what other styles you want to make. I'll try my best to come up with lots of different styles. But this one is very easy, very basic, and I definitely want you to try it out. Again, I know some of my beginners have machines at home. I don't want the machine just sit there. I want you to do something with the machines, right? So we're just gonna continue gathering just like that up to the end. Just as how I'm doing here with the needle. All up to the very end. And as we go, we just pull, right? Just like that. We continue on just like that. Now some machine could do the gathering very good. There's even gathered foot. But you know what? I learned it traditionally, so I'm very comfortable with it traditionally. But if you want to get a gathered foot for the machine, you could check it out. And that would also help you as well. So, see, I come to the end, right? Just be mindful with the needle as well. Okay. So this is my skirt here, all gathered up, right? Okay. So next thing, see, it even started to look as a skirt already. So next thing you want to do is to take your waistband now, and of course you want to have your pins, and then you want to now make sure the gather, make sure of course you have it. You want to make sure that the end of the gather here, you want to make it a little bit straight, right? And then you want to pin your waistband right at the very edge like this and put a pin. So the very end, you want to make it straight because you're going to have your zipper, right? You don't want that part gathered. So you want a good part of it, like maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches I would need, but you could go 2 inches just to make sure it's clear. And then all the rest you want to gather it down and put a pin, right? So put a pin, and you want to gather it to the end of your waistband. So if you find the waistband is longer, you want to pull the gather, right? Just like that, just like that. You want to make sure the in part is gathered, and it also gather up to the waist band. So just like that. And you can measure again. So I like to measure first and then after I'll pin. Just like that. Measure, measure, measure. Right? And then here now, so I'll go up to here and then I'll gather the rest. So I'm going to pin one end, again 2 inches to the end. You want to leave it clear and straight because you're going to put the zipper, and then all the rest you're going to gather it inside. So just like that. So now I want to make sure that I have enough gathered here. Right? Yeah, just want to make sure you have enough gathered here. So again, say for instance, depends on your size, you could make the size of the gather even bigger. All depends on your sizes. Your skirt size, you can make the size of the material. You could go to 3.5 yards. So I'm going to pull this out here a little. You could easily go to 3.5 yards if you want it like really, really heavily gathered. Right? Okay, so once you're settled and you're comfortable, then you would start to pin. You start to pin your gather, and you pin it as you go along, just like how I'm doing it here. Be mindful that you pin it right, because sometimes when you pin the gather, sometimes it come out, everything don't get pinned, so you want to make sure you pin everything right. So the end of the waistband to the end of your gather, and as you go you want to gather it along to make sure it fit nicely. And if you want more gathered, you could even go with more material for 3.5. Depends on your size, you could go 3.5. I like mine's 3 inches. Depends on your size, you could go 3.5, even 4 inches in order to make your skirt. So all depends on the more inches you go, is the more gathered you get, and your skirt will come out even more you know, fancier. So go along and do this for me. Once we done that, we'll go on the machine and we'll sew this down, and that would be 1/2 inch, of course, all the way to the end. Right? So once you pin your gathered here, you go to your machine and then you sew this down, because I'm gonna sew this down, and then once I sew it down, I'll come back and we'll go to the next step. All right?